Okay, welcome to midterm video number 5. So this will be the 5th video of the series here. Alright, next one it says 75 people said A, 35 people said neither, 20 people said both, and then 200 people voted. Alright, now what's going to really drive the filling out of the Venn diagram is the both as well as the neither. Okay, so 20 people said both, so it'll go into our middle part here, and 35% or 35 people said neither. We'll put it outside the Venn diagram. Now, here's where it can get tricky. All right, it says 75 people said A. That means this entire A circle, everything inside of it must add up to 75. But if you notice, 20 of the 75 said A and B. So if 20 of the 75 have already been accounted for, that means we have a 55 left over. Okay. Now the next thing is 200 people voted. Now we're trying to solve for who said B only. Well, 55, 20, this number X, as well as this number 35, all of this adds up to 200 people. So very simply, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take 35, 55, and 20, and I'm going to subtract that from 200, and my answer ends up being 90 people. All right, moving on. Create a rectangular area model. All right, so if you notice here, we have this route, and this route. So we have the upper, middle, and lower route. So I'm going to divide up my area model into thirds here. So try to make it as even as possible. I know it's not going to be the best drawing, but even as possible. So there we are. So my very first route, this will be my route number 1, this will be route number 2, this will be route number 3. Alright, so this is route number 1 in my picture, this is route number 2, this is route number 3. So I'm just paying attention to route number 1. Alright, so here I go, I'm walking, all of a sudden I hit a fork in the road. So I can either go down or I can go straight. So a fork in the road, the way that you would write that is you would divide up your row in half because you have a 50% chance of going up or down. But let's just say we decided to we just turned down or went down to path number 2. So you can see me, I'm kind of writing it right now. If we go on path number 2, notice that it's a pumpkin. All right, so on our little 50-50 fork here, I know that if I go to path number 2, I'm going to be, my result is going to be a pumpkin. Okay, and so I'm going to put a P here for that half. Now, let's say if I stayed on number 1. All right, so if I stayed on path number 1, once again, I hit another fork in the road. So what I'm going to do is this area over here, hopefully you can see my pencil here, I'm going to have to half it again. All right, so I'm going to have to half it again. One area represents pumpkin, the other area does not. So pumpkin, no pumpkin, pumpkin. All right, so that was path number 1. All right, let's do path number 2. Now, in these type of situations, you're always moving to the right. So I know that as you're walking, yes, there's a way that you can turn to the right here, but or turn to the left, but we don't recognize that. We're always moving to the right. So if you notice path number 2, there is no fork in the road to where you can turn to the right. It's always either turning to the left. So because the fact that it's path number 2 is a direct shot to a pumpkin, that means the row will just be just a pumpkin row. All right, last one. All right, which is path number 3. All right, so let's start walking down path number 3. Here we go, here we go. Oh, all of a sudden, we hit a fork in the road. We can either go up to path number 2 or we can stay on path number 3. So that's a 50-50 possibility. So I'm going to cut my row in half. But let's just say I decided to turn on path number 2. I'm walking, guaranteed pumpkin. All right, I'm just going to write a P there for guaranteed pumpkin. And it doesn't matter where you put your P as long as the pumpkin represents 50%. Now here we go. We're going to start walking. Let's say if I stayed on path number 3, I'm walking, boom, hit another fork in the road. So that means my remaining half will get split. So that'll be pumpkin, no pumpkin. All right, so that's how you divide it up. Now, the next one is, what is the probability of getting a pumpkin? Well, this goes back to that area diagram where you got to start assigning values to, or dimensions. So I'm going to call this row, this will have a height of 2, this will have a height of 2, this will have a height of 2. This right here, I'm going to say this has a width of 3, this has a width of 3, which means this will be a width of 6. All right, so what I'm going to do is with all my dimensions here, I'm going to um, give the area. And I'm going to go ahead and pause it just to not waste time. So there's all my areas here. Remember, you're multiplying length and width is just a rectangle. So area, the total area my of my rectangle is 72. Now, how did I get 72? Well, there's two ways you can figure it out. First, you can add up all the green numbers because those are the areas, or you can just take the length and multiply it by the width. So that would be 12 times 6 gives you 72. It says, what is the probability of getting a pumpkin? So that means everything that has a P on it, I'm going to add up. So pumpkin, pumpkin, pumpkin. So those are all my pumpkins. So I'm going to add that up. Let's see, that's 18 plus 24 plus 18 again. That gives me a grand total of 60 over 72. I know it may be hard to read, so let me change that. So 60 divided by 72. I'm just going to convert it to a percentage because that's easier for a lot of people. That ends up with 83.3. I'm writing with my mouse, so that's why it's kind of weird looking. All right, now it says if 500 people walk through the paths, how many people did not get a pumpkin? Well, if 83.3% got a pumpkin, quick math, I believe that is 16.3% did not get a pumpkin. All right, and so 500 people walked through the path, so that's going to be 500 times 16.3, so 500 times, remember, convert 0.163, that is 81, we'll round, roughly 82 people. So 82 people did not receive a pumpkin. All right. Based on the menu of Mama's Deli, there are 9 burger sandwiches, 5 side orders, 4 drinks, 3 dessert options. How many total meals? That's 9 times 5 times 4 times 3. So 9 times 5 times 4 times 3. It's kind of like the license plate question. We're just taking all your options and multiplying them. There's 540. All right. Create a tree diagram on the following information. John is getting dressed. He can either wear a short sleeve or a long sleeve shirt. All right. So here we have John. So I'm just going to put a little dot that represents John. There's John. So his first decision is short sleeve or long sleeve. So short sleeve or long sleeve. So uh, short sleeve and then long sleeve. And then he can wear khaki pants or blue jeans. All right, so khaki pants, blue jeans for that, khaki pants, blue jeans for that. So let me finish putting khaki pants, blue jeans, khaki pants, blue jeans. All right, first off, how many outcomes are possible? Well, since we drew a tree, it's pretty simple. There's a total of 4 final branches, so that means he's going to have a total of 4 options. What is the probability of John choosing a short sleeve shirt? Well, he had a choice between short sleeve or long sleeve, so that's half. So that's 1/2, pretty easy. It's kind of a basic example here. What is the probability of John making wearing, I'm assuming that's a typo, so we'll scratch that out. John wearing a short sleeve shirt with blue jeans. So short sleeve with blue jeans, sorry. Short sleeve shirt and blue jeans is right here. That's 1 out of 4. So he has a 1 out of 4% chance. All right, this last question we're going to knock out pretty quick. All right, so first off, how many total people were surveyed in this particular problem? It was 165. So what is the probability of someone choosing A? Well, remember, this is my A circle. That's a grand total of 110 over 165, and I'm going to let you reduce. What is the probability of choosing both? Well, both is this 20 here, so that's 20 over 165, and I'll let you reduce on your own, just trying to save time here. What is the probability of B only? Well, B only is this 50 right here. That's the only thing that's all by itself. So 50 over 165. Oh, how many total people were voted? I don't know why I keep on choosing that yellow. 165, that was the answer to that one. What's the probability of neither? 5 over 165. All right, well, that concludes video number 5. Hope you learned something.